I hope you're having a beautiful Wednesday night so far. My name is Katrina Stark, and I'm so excited to host this event with you tonight. Look, it's an event about learning to dream again, about learning to take control back, about learning to just have more. Because how many times in life are we kind of just settling? Settling for just enough, settling for just that job, settling for even just that relationship. And you know what? It really is time to take control back because we're living in a century where we pretty much have resources at our fingertips. Now, I was looking today, prepping for this event where we're talking about being able to take control back and being able to, it's life by design, right? Specifically for that purpose, being able to get off that rat race and be able to create something more for yourself. And I was looking at some really scary stats. And it was saying that more than 61% of Australians and New Zealanders are living week to week. Can you believe that? More than 61% of us are living paycheck to paycheck. That's insane. The scary part was that 28% are living with less than $500 as an emergency fund. So it's no doubt, right, when we look and we see that stress levels, we see mental health, we see all sorts of things at an absolute peak because we're living in a time where there's just not enough income to be able to sustain life. It's not like everybody's out there being crazy, living above their means, but being able to have a good life these days means quite often that we have to have one, two, maybe even three jobs plus a partner having jobs. And we know that quite often when that happens, and particularly women end up inside a relationship where it's got to go back down to one income, lots of families are living really hard. So I love being able to present really cool opportunities like this, being able to have the time and space to have open webinars where I can talk to women and men around how to take control back. I mean, I'm pretty sure that everybody can relate to the fact that we are living in such a fast-paced society, and the way that our parents did things and the way that their parents did things don't quite fit the mold anymore. Jobs are really starting to become more technologically advanced. We're starting to be able to open up to a whole new digital era. And I really want to try and encourage as many people as possible to take that step into that and be able to create wealth and income in a different way that might look different to normal, but I can promise you it's not going to look too weird for very long because so many things are moving towards the online space. Business has absolutely boomed since the internet has come. Sales have been extraordinarily large because we can reach people on the other side of the world with a click to the button. So if you're not currently utilizing the online space or anything remotely like that to be able to create your main stream of income or a second stream of income, I'm really excited that you're here tonight and get to hear a little bit more about what we do. So I came across a business model online about 5.5 years ago, and I was already very business minded. So I was already looking for something. I was doing family daycare during the day, which I owned. I have a bachelor in education, but I wanted to stay home with my kids. So I was working from home. And then because it wasn't quite making ends meet, I also had a dance studio that I had created from a little baby up into a big booming business in the afternoons. So I would literally work all day with the kids, with my babies at home. I would take them to my mum's, and then I would go and I would dance until about 9 o'clock at night, come home, wash, rinse, and repeat every day. Now, this was okay. I mean, it wasn't ideal. I wasn't having a lot of spare time, and I definitely wasn't living the life that I wanted. But the fallout happened when my relationship broke down. I had one daughter who was about 3 and another one who was about 4 to 6 weeks old. She was really little, and I was all of a sudden a single mum. And that wasn't a bad thing because I'd finally made the decision to leave an abusive relationship. But what was hard was that I knew now that life couldn't stay that way. I was already living week to week. I was one of those statistics. And now I had less time. I had to use more daycare hours and I had less support. So I started looking online and I reached out to one of my girlfriends who I knew had been doing something for about 18 months prior. I definitely was skeptical. I'd always put it in one of those categories because I had my traditional business hat mind on, but I knew that nothing else was working for me. And I'm so damn glad I did, because from that day forward, I was able to find a system that supported me. I was able to put one foot in front of the other, even when I felt terrified. And I was able to create a booming 6-figure business that has helped support me and my baby since then. Now, my entire, I guess, passion around this is being able to show other people, because I spent a long time thinking that there was no light at the end of the tunnel. When somebody showed me this business, it was basically like my world lit up, and I got to be able to create something so beautiful from it. So I just want to be able to show as many people as possible, because the stats, they're not good. And that means less people living lives. That means more people just living for the weekends, which 2 days a week, let's face it, it's not enough. Annual leave, 4 to 6 weeks out of 52, it's not good enough. There is so much life out there to be lived, and it's really sad that we're taking just a small portion because that's all that's been given to us. So I'm going to break down a few things that are really important to know when you're looking to move into the online space in being able to create wealth. We're all on high alert, right? Because we know that there's things out there that are dodgy. Avoid them. We will show you what to avoid and what not to avoid. And we're going to break down some myths, and we're going to show you what you need to have in order to create a successful business. Now, when I came into my business, I wanted to know that it was a legacy company. I wanted to know that it wasn't something that was going to fold straight away, because unfortunately, there are things out there that pop up quick and disappear as soon as they've made money. I didn't want that, because I'm a hard worker and I'm also very loyal. So if I was going to give years to building something, I wanted it to stay around. Yeah. The second thing is make sure that they're stable financially. They're going to pay your paychecks. Make sure they don't have any dodgy history on checks bouncing back or wages not getting paid. Make sure that the company that you're partnering with or the company that you're working with is going to pay you that second or perhaps even first stream of income. The third thing, make sure they're having a product or a service that meets needs, that's helping people, that's consistently going to be in fashion, that is consistently going to make the world a better place, because that means it's always going to move. The fourth thing, make sure you don't have to stock that product in your own home, because we don't want to have a garage full of things, and we don't want to have a super large expense to start up a business. Most of us start up looking at online because we're looking for ways to make money because we don't have money. So you don't want to have to spend a hell of a lot to be able to get in the game. Now, I've got my beautiful friend here, Denise, today, and she's going to share a little bit more around the product and the programs that I found that was able to create that business for me. So this is tick number 3. This is making sure that you have strong service, you have a strong product that people need, and it ticks 1 and 2 because it's also brought out by a company that's been around for 50 years and they've never once missed a paycheck in that entire 5 decades, which was pretty damn impressive for me. So Denise, I'm going to get you to share a little bit more about the business model, the business products that we use. I'll pass it over if you could take yourself off mute.
Awesome. Thank you, Kat, for introducing me and for letting me share about our beautiful products, which I absolutely love. They are world-class, and I'm just so proud to be an ambassador for these beautiful products. So when I first came across these products, I was a health and physical education teacher. I've been teaching about nutrition for over 30 years. And the products were so simple, they made so much sense to me, because what I saw over those 30 years was the lack of knowledge around the importance of flooding our bodies with the nutrients of fresh fruits and vegetables. If I asked the kids if we're on an excursion what they wanted to, well, I didn't even ask them, they just said to me, can we please go to, fast food takeaways? And I would just drive the bus as fast as I could in the opposite direction. So it was kind of breaking my heart and watching what their lunch boxes were full of in the mornings as well. And trying to sit in class and learn and get an education was just not happening to the best of their ability without the nutrition that their little bodies, their growing bodies needed, and also their parents. So when I came across these products, you can see that they are a rainbow. They made so much sense to me. They are so simple. They are literally fruits, vegetables, and berries in a capsule. when I thought about the concept of a capsule as well, that was a bit mind-blowing to me. I thought, how can it be so simple? How can you bridge the gap between what we know we should eat every day and what we are actually eating every day in such a simple, convenient, and affordable way? So these capsules are literally, they have a food label on the back. These are 33 varieties of fruits, veggies and berries. We know that the quality of fruit and veg we get these days are not like when we were younger, that things were seasonal and you couldn't get them all year round. That's because they were picked ahead of time, they were stored, gas ripened. These days they're grown in nutrient deficient soil, and we just don't know where they were grown from and how long they've been sitting on the shelves for. Plus, as soon as they're picked, they start oxidizing. So all of those beautiful phytonutrients and enzymes start dying as soon as they're picked. So our company has got this really clever technology, and with the powder that's left, our produce, and I was really lucky the other day to be on a Zoom and met some of our farmers who are actually farming some of our beautiful produce. And they were standing in this big field of kale that was being harvested that day. So once the produce is picked on the day of peak ripeness, it's then sent to the processing plants that are really close by. They're actually on the farms. And the fruit and vegetables are turned into a beautiful slurry, and then they're dehydrated at really low temperatures, and the fructose is removed. So all you're left with are the nutrients from those fruit and veg, and they're encapsulated in this beautiful plant-based capsule. So this one here I'm holding is a berry blend. And of course, we've got our fruit and veggie blend as well. So flooding your body every single day with 33 varieties of fruits, veggies, and berries that are bioavailable to your body. So our body knows what to do with food. It doesn't know what to do with synthetic supplements. It just goes straight through your body, and as we affectionately say, comes out the other end as that disco weave. So you really are wasting your money on synthetic supplements. So this nutritional support does not replace food, but it is the next best thing to fruits and vegetables. And it floods your body within 3 to 5 minutes straight into your bloodstream, and we call this our micronutrition. These are amazing for your immune system, and at the moment, it's top of everyone's mind. We need to make sure our immune system is looked after. Our products have over 30 peer-reviewed gold standard studies that just prove what these flooding your body with nutrients does in your body every single day. So there are fruits, veggies, and berries. The other thing that was a huge tick for me was that our company produces these chewables as well. These are for the little kids and the big kids, people that don't necessarily want to take the capsules. And our company gives these to children from the age of 4 to 18 for up to 4 years, if the adult has an active order. And the reason that they are free for our kids, is because we've got the biggest children's health study in the world. And what they have found, when the kids start eating these chewables or the capsules, they are craving more fruits and veggies. They're having less days off school, less visits to the doctor. They're having more water. They're pooping better. They're eating better. And I just love that we are the company with the heart that we give the kids the nutrition that they need, particularly with my background around health. So that was another big tick for me. So they are little chewables. That's what they look like. The kids think they're having lollies, and mum and dad celebrate the fact that they are flooding their little bodies with over 22 varieties of fruits and veggies every day, which is amazing. So we don't have a whole catalogue of products. The next one I would love to chat about is our plant-based omegas. These are absolute golden. So they are a beautiful blend of 3, 5, 6, 7, and 9 omegas. And generally, our bodies don't produce essential fatty acids. We have to get them from our food. So historically, we've been told that we need to eat certain numbers of fish meals a week, but our environment is changing, and fish are the top of the food chain, and that bioaccumulation of toxins in fish are just, there's some great fish around still in some waters, but some of them just are not something you want to put in your body all of the time, and particularly the fish oil that we generally historically have taken to get our omegas. Most people don't know that fish don't have omegas in their body. They get it from the food that they eat. So from the algae that they take from the ocean, that's how the fish get their omegas, and then we get the omegas into our bodies from that. So what our company has done is taken the fish out of the equation. We actually grow our algae on plant-based farms and mix that with a whole bunch of other cold-pressed plant-based oils. And this capsule is actually cold sealed, which means the oil inside is protected. And there's a little nitrogen bubble there as well, which protects the oils. And they are amazing for our nervous system, for our hair, for our nails, for our synapses between our thoughts and our nerves. And the last product that I'm really going to quickly touch on are our complete powders. We don't advocate these to be a meal replacement, but what we do love about them is they're packed full of superfoods, things like amaranth, quinoa, yucca powder, mushroom powder, which is one of the highest sources of vitamin D in the plant kingdom, mood-enhancing niacin derived from walnuts, and a whole lot of things. So these can be amazing for cooking, pancakes, protein balls. You can make them up for a delicious shake, for a snack on the run. And they are our products. I absolutely love them. I've been on them for 4.5 years now, and I've never felt more healthy in my whole life. But again, it's the stories that bring our products to life. So I'm going to hand over to my friend Bo, who's going to share her story around flooding her body with our beautiful products.
Hello, everyone. Oh, I'm pre-emotional. How funny. Whew. Okay, so my name's Bo. Thank you for that lovely introduction, Denise. 15 months ago, I was diagnosed with postnatal depression. It was not long after the birth of my second son, who's now nearly 2. And I was a mess. Whew. I'm actually much better, believe it. But like, I was just broken. I don't know how many mamas from this call, but like, I was exhausted. I've also got a now 4-year-old. So, you know, at the time I had an 8-month-old and a 3-year-old, and the 3-year-old was just trying to drop his sleep. And I was hanging on to that sleep so bad because I was just so tired. But my beautiful friend Katrina, who's hosting tonight, reached out to me just to see if I was okay. Our youngest are a week apart, and then she just looked to be crushing it. I was like, how do you just look to be surviving this when I'm just drowning? And she just invited me to look at something, and I'm so glad that she did, because I was so deep in this mum guilt that I couldn't even justify to spend a little bit of money on myself. COVID had just kicked off, so I was like super isolated and just craving community, but I didn't want anyone to know how much I felt like I was failing at being a mother. So I bit the bullet, and I spent $84 a month on myself, which back then I just thought, whoa, girl, you're so selfish. And it just totally started changing things for me. Oh God, get it together. Within 2 weeks of taking the fruit and veg capsules, and obviously meeting this beautiful community that came with the health program, first thing I noticed was the energy. I wasn't drinking 3 cups of coffee in the morning just to try to wake up and keep up with my kids. I didn't need that nap in the middle of the day. And it just progressed from there. Like, my skin was clearer. I was making better food choices. Like, I gained so much weight with my first pregnancy. We had a pregnancy loss. I was once a fitness competitor, so I had like a 6-pack once upon a time. And I had like a lot of body guilt and negative self-image. I just felt repulsive. And so I just started making better healthier food choices, and the weight just started coming off naturally. I wasn't trying all the way that I knew to lose weight in the past, like going to the gym 6 times a week. Was just, first gyms were closed. It was the middle of COVID, and I had 2 small kids. There's absolutely no way that I even had the energy to work out, or just the possibility to work out. Fast forward 15 months, I have lost like over 10 kilos, countless amount of centimeters. I've stopped looking at the scales because I feel like I'm gaining muscle, and I hate the scales. My life just looks different. I exercise more often because I want to, because I love my body, not because I hate it and I want to change it. I get my kids involved. I've got less chronic pain. My hips don't hurt as much. I'm just a happier, more present mum because I spent $84 a month on myself. And since moving forward, I've added the berry capsules into my life. Oh my God, my hair and my skin and my nails are just even better than they were before. I've added in the complete shakes that Denise was talking about. They are a daily occurrence in our house. My 3-year-old went fussy. He ate only bread and Nutri-Grain. And now we have like a whole morning routine based around making a smoothie that feeds me, the youngest, the oldest, their dad's involved. Oh, all of the benefits that Denise talked about with the kids in the health program, my kids have gone through. They sleep better. I sleep better. everyone is just happier. So thank you, Kat, for just taking the time to check on me and reaching out, because I'm forever indebted to you. So thank you.
You are so welcome, beautiful. Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing your beautiful story. I adore you. You make me cry every damn time. I'm glad you make you cry too, because otherwise it would just be my tears. But I think that you can kind of relate, and Bo's just put it perfectly into emotions and personal testimonies. You have to have something that works, something that makes a difference for people. And I found that the Juice Plus company has really nailed that. They've found a product that has the science. They've found a product that gets the results. They've found a product that's just genius. It does what people need. Because I'm the stats queen tonight, less than 2% of our population here in Australia and New Zealand are actually getting the fruits and veggies that they need. No wonder, you know. I'm pretty sure if I was to rattle off a few illnesses, every single one of us would be like, yep, know someone. Yep, know someone. You know, it's no, I'm lost for words. It's no surprise, you know, that we really are becoming fed a lot more, but a lot less healthier. And that's not a place where we want to be, because it's just going to cause unhealthy patterns for our children as well. So I love that this business had a product that I could get behind that made sense to me. It also helped me in my body as well. So I started to learn how to share that, because when we're looking at the online space, quite often you're getting paid by a company to represent their results. They want to know what works, and they want you to share that with people. Now, that is such honest marketing. Yeah, it's not relying on celebrities. It's not relying on fancy billboards. It's not relying on, you know, huge marketing campaigns. What they're doing is they're saving those millions and millions of dollars, and they're paying it to the people who take their products. They're thanking them and they're rewarding them for being great testimonials of the products that they've put a lot of science and money towards. So it was such a smart business model for me, but that didn't mean that I still wasn't confused, because I had always wanted to be a business owner. I don't get told what to do very well, so I don't make a really good employee. I love being the person that gets to make my own choices. So fresh out of school, even though I was in uni, I knew that my end goal was to have a dance studio, because that was going to be something that I was passionate about. It was going to be something that made me money. So, you know, to get there, I had to save up $12,000 to open it, because there's a lot of overheads in that industry. So I went into retail. Now, I actually started down the bottom of retail, and I love that this story ties back in, because Bo was actually my boss. She was my first boss out of school. And we connected back on social media a couple of years ago. And, you know, I came in here as a little fresh 17-year-old, and I managed to work there for a few years. When Bo left, I worked my way up the ranks into the management position. Now, this job sucked. I'm not even going to try and sugarcoat it, but I did it because there was, you know, an end goal. I wanted to become my own CEO. So I worked for this one, and I swapped time for a dollar figure. And this is what the majority of the population does, right? And this is why the majority of the population is under the poverty line, because we only have so many hours in a week. So if we're relying on time for a dollar figure, we're always going to be less than. We're never going to quite get on top. But I worked really hard here. I worked my way up. I spent long nights. I spent shift work. I spent early mornings. I spent holidays. You know, I got told what shoes to put on. I got told when I could go to the toilet. I got told when I could take annual leave, but I sucked it up because my end goal was to become my own CEO. What I found really horrible about this model is, as a female, I like to work hard, and I have a really strong stubborn streak. So when I'm given a target, I wanted to be a manager. I wanted to work hard. But in order to do that, the positions got smaller at the top. So I actually had to step over people, which created a lot of animosity. And coming to work was quite often like high school. And even if I worked a hell of a lot harder and I stayed there for another 7 years, I was never getting any higher, because this was a family-run business. So all of the senior management was taken up. That was my glass ceiling. I'd reached there, and unless I left, I was never going to earn any more. Then I became my own CEO, and I did love it. I loved it. But what I found was that everything that was coming up to me was going straight back out in overheads. I was paying rent, utilities, insurance. I was paying for so much that quite often meant that my employees were coming out of the week with more money than I was paying myself. I was paying more in wages than what I was taking home to feed my family. And I did that for a long time. I was so stubborn, and I piled away and I piled away, and we worked really damn hard at it, but it just didn't happen. For me, the pinnacle moment of that not working was when I'd spent so long, I'd put 18 months worth of saving up to go overseas and to take my family away. And every single day, someone from the office called me about something. Where was the invoice book? So-and-so hasn't turned up for their shift. And I just thought, I have no freedom in this whatsoever. This doesn't stand unless I'm still looking after it, even when I'm on the other side of the planet. And I realized that I was never going to get my freedom from that model. With this model, when I started looking, and my beautiful girlfriend sat down and actually educated me a little bit more on how it all works, I realized that there's a pinnacle position, but it's endless. So it's called National Marketing Director. It's basically the CEO of the company. It's around about a 6-figure income. And what I loved about this business is that every single person can get there. So straight away, I knew that that eliminated the bitchiness. I knew that it eliminated competing, because every person that came in with me, we could all reach the top. There was no stepping over each other or, short ending people, because we could all succeed. Now, in my 5.5 years of this business, I've realized that this is beautiful because there's something for everybody. There's some mums that want to come in and just earn $200 a month to put money into their household, to be able to buy the coffee when they want, to be able to buy the dress without feeling any guilt. I've got a system that can help that through the Juice Plus model. Some mums want to come in and they want $1,000 a week to be able to replace their income so that they can spend more time at home. My beautiful friend Ashy, she came in and she talked to me and she said she wants to go over to Bali to do her yoga course. She wanted to travel and do a lot of fun things, but she obviously couldn't work at the same time. So we managed to build her business up to around about that $4,000 a month so that she could go and do this and have that safety net. Then you've got people like me and beautiful Denise and a few others on the call here tonight who come in and say, you know what, a 6-figure income sounds pretty good. I was so sick of telling my kids no. So when somebody said to me, you can earn whatever you want in this business, I got so hungry. And I know I'm not average. I know that a lot of people come in here and they're quite happy just to earn the $200 a month. But I love that there's no ceiling in this. Nobody says, sit down, you've done enough hours, or sorry, you can't have that shift because you've done too much overtime. You can pretty much earn whatever you want in this business as long as you've got the determination and the courage to make it happen. Now, inside this business model too, one of my biggest objections is when people say to me, I don't know enough people. I get that, right? I was in the same category as well. You don't need to know lots of people to kill this business. All right. I knew 2 people, Miranda and Joe. I'd actually met Joe online. We'd never met in person. That's the beauty of social media, right? Put up one post and hundreds see it. Miranda was a mum at my dance school who was also doing family daycare. Now, I taught Miranda how to do the business. She reached out to her cousin Danny, who loved the products and wanted to get her own commission back. Danny got her own couple of team. Miranda actually advertised and found a woman called Shannon over in New Zealand. Now, Shannon didn't know Miranda at all. Again, this was just the power of social media. And within 2 weeks, Shannon had introduced somebody called Annie, who introduced someone called Tania, and you're going to hear from her very soon. And I knew that this business was amazing because within 2 weeks, we had a global business. I had no idea what I was even doing, but the product was working. It was connecting to people who were talking to people who were talking to people. Jo went out and absolutely went berserk because she wanted to be able to get in a caravan and travel, have a freedom life. And this is kind of what her business did. And over the time, I've been able to meet more people who have met more people who have met more people. And now we have a team of over 1,000, which is insane because I didn't think I knew anybody who'd want to do this. We have a team of over 1,000 with thousands of clients all over the world in just a 5-year period. Now, for me, that's a business model that works. It's a whole lot of people on the same mission. They have their own business. They have their own stake in the ground. They turn up, and it gives me the freedom as well to have people who have my back. So when I had a year off to have my daughter, I had other leaders who could look after my business for me. Now, that's ultimate freedom. But I think the power is in the stories. And I've got the beautiful Amira, who is tuning in from New Zealand tonight. Amira's only been in the business for about 8 months, but she's had a stellar start, and she's going to tell a little bit more about what she's noticed since she started.
Hey guys, I'm Amira. How are you all tonight? I started this business about 8 or 9 months ago, and I came into this at an interesting time in my life. I have a past of addiction. I've been to jail, and like I've just lived the kind of wrong side of the track for life. And I made a decision a few years ago to really turn my life around. And I was feeling, after a few years of sorting my shit out and getting clean, I was feeling really stuck and lost. And I had decided to leave a really abusive relationship. And that day, this business opportunity actually fell into my lap. And I was kind of like, oh, I've been talking to my friend Angel for a couple of weeks about it. And she came back to me that day, and I was kind of just like, well, what do I have to lose? And sorry, I have a 2-year-old here too. And she come over and really supported me, and I signed onto the business, and it has changed my whole life. Like I actually, on my first call, I was one of those, I had no belief in myself, and I was one of those, I just want to make $200 a month or something, people. And within like a month in this business, my whole perspective on life had changed, like my belief in myself, my goals. I now have that 6-figure goal, and I know I'm going to reach it. The support in this community is absolutely amazing. I have 3 sons, one of whom's not very well at the moment, and you can do this anywhere. You can do it around your family. And I love being able to create this stability. Like, for the first time in my life, like in my adult life, I feel stable and I feel worthy. And I feel like I'm gonna, really be able to create the success that I know we really deserve. And it just really, really excites me. Thank you so much for having me share tonight. And I'm gonna pass you on to the beautiful Tans.
Hey, I love hearing Amira talking. She's one of the reasons why I love this business so much, seeing so much growth in her. So I'm Tania. Thank you for having me tonight. Yes, I'm over in New Zealand too. And when I came into this business, I came through as a customer. So I was using the program, and I fell in love with the products in the program. But also I was at a time in my life where I was wanting more than what I was actually getting in my day job. I come from a social work background, so I wanted to change the world. It's just what I wanted to do. Wanted to have more impact and more purpose. I wanted to be able to really help people in a better way, in a more positive way than what I was actually doing. There was way too many processes and procedures and funding issues that really stopped me from doing what I really wanted to do. And a lot of people just didn't want help. So I was ready to actually get started because I hated my job. I felt really unhappy. And the other thing I was looking for was more freedom, more choices, an opportunity to be able to travel, because that was huge for us, for my husband and I. I'm at a stage in my life where my children were leaving home. And so I've got more time now. I've got more time for myself. I've got more time for the two of us so that we can spend it together. And we wanted to live it. I just watched my dad pass away with cancer, and it just made me realize that life is so short and we've got to live it right now. So what did I do? I saw this, I was on the product 4 days, and I said yes straight away. I just fell in love with it and thought this could be an opportunity for me to do more and have more in my life, but also grow a legacy, because I loved that there was a legacy business here, that there was passive income, because we had been looking at ways to create that as well. And this was just a no-brainer for me. And then 4 months down the track, my husband and I were getting married, and 2 months later, we had booked and paid for a 10-week honeymoon around Southeast Asia. And I'd put in my leave for work, and I was told I couldn't have leave because they couldn't replace me. So what did I do? I left. And I left because I knew that I had this business to back me. I had an income coming in. So we traveled around Southeast Asia for 10 weeks, and I was paid. We didn't have to worry about my husband's he only had about 3 weeks of paid leave, and all the rest had to be covered by what I was earning through this business. And to this day, it's been nearly 4 years for me. I've never regretted that decision, because in that time I have built up a really strong business. I have a really nice income, and I don't have to ever worry about going back to the day job that I was so happy to get out of. And I'm so ever grateful. And of course, you hear beautiful stories like Amira, who I've had the pleasure of being part of her journey. And it just makes me so happy and inspires me so much to do more of that. There's so many women out there like Amira who want this, who are ready for this and need this. And I'm so grateful that I can be part of that journey. Thank you for having me.
Oh, I love it. Thank you so much. I'm just going to put a big bow on it, because I feel like those women have done such a good job of showcasing the highlights of what it does. Life is amazing when you decide to take control back, when you decide to say, look, it's time for me to decide what I want to do. If I don't like my job, I'm going to change it. If I don't like my pay, I'm going to change it, because there are so many options out there. This is a great business model with a great legacy, like Tan said, and a great product that really does change lives. So if you've got any questions after watching this tonight, please get them answered. We're all skeptical, we're all doubtful, we all understand that, and we will help you through it, because on the other side is that it is the most life-changing opportunity. These are just a few stories of hundreds. By the time that you meet them and you hear them, there's so many different women and men who you can relate to, whose stories are the same, that have been able to have the most amazing transformations. And that's not a scam. It is not, luck. It is not a coincidence. It is the way that life is moving. It just is. So you may as well get on it quickly and be one of the ones who does understand, because there's plenty of people out there that don't. But I can tell you, from when I first started, 5.5 years ago to today, there's a lot more people in the online space. It's definitely becoming way more popular and the place to earn money. So I'm so excited that you were all here tonight and got to be part of this with us. And if you're watching the recording, you're just as awesome. Thank you to everybody who shared. And I can't wait to see more of your beautiful faces in this team soon, getting to create the life on your terms. You are so worth it. And it's time that you started telling yourself that. So thank you, everybody. Big love. And I hope you all have a wonderful night. Bye.